So the Colts are going to beat the Eagles, huh?
Hey, listen, I was wrong. I'm not upset about it, are you? All right. So I was wrong about the Colts beating the Eagles, but sometimes it's a good thing to be wrong. And how could you not be impressed with that victory that the Eagles had against the Colts? I mean, first of all, they hold Peyton Manning to a very un-Peyton Manning-like quarterback rating. The Eagles score within the first 2 minutes of the game. The Eagles racked up over 400 yards in total offense, and it was a very balanced game plan as well. I mean, there was 31 running plays, 32 passing plays. When have you ever known Andy Reid to be as balanced as he was on Sunday? I mean, it was a fantastic game plan by the Philadelphia Eagles coaches and a well-played game by the Philadelphia Eagles players. And despite some poor officiating, the Eagles managed to hold on and beat a very, very, very good Indianapolis team. And as far as the officiating of last Sunday's game, I mean, look, I know that head coaches and NFL players can incur some pretty hefty penalties for criticizing individual referees like Carl Cheffers, who was the head referee of the Colts game, or the overall officiating of an NFL game. But I would like to take this moment to speak on behalf of all Eagles fans directly to Carl and the rest of the officiating crew for Sunday's game. We Eagles fans feel, with all due respect, that some of the calls against our beloved birds were perhaps a little bogus. Why don't you try opening up your eyes, assholes? We Eagles fans also feel like some of the non-calls against the Colts, like when Michael Vick was hit 3 yards out of bounds, were perhaps a little biased towards Indianapolis. Does your wife know you're trying to screw us? Basically, what we Eagles fans are trying to say is that if you ever visit Lincoln Financial Field again, and we hope that you do, that maybe you think it through a little bit more before you throw the little yellow hanky out on the field. And I hope with whatever money that you won with the Colts beating the spread, that you go out and you buy yourself a nice expensive pair of glasses so you can see clearly in the replay booth instead of just standing there scratching your ass.
You know the Eagles won, right?
But now it's time to head down to D.C., our nation's capital, for the big rematch against the Washington Redskins and our old buddy Donovan McNabb. And you know, that last Eagles-Redskins game, that left a really bad taste in my mouth. You know, one of those tastes like when you burp and a little bit of vomit comes up. Yeah, it's something along those lines. And then to top it all off, after they win, Donovan McNabb sits in the Washington Redskins locker room, holds up a football high, and says, "Hey, everybody makes mistakes, all right? And they made one last year." Uh-huh. Really, Donovan? Did we? Because, I mean, look, when the Washington Redskins beat the Eagles earlier this year, Donovan, you only completed half of your passes. You threw for $125. You did get a touchdown. He also threw an interception. And in my first preview for the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles, I broke down the statistical comparison between Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick over the first 3 games of the season. But now that each team has played 8 games and their bye weeks are behind them, now is an even better opportunity to take a look at the comparison between Donovan McNabb for the Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks, because yes, I am going to include Kevin Cobb in this. Let's take a look, shall we? So far in the first 8 games of the season, Donovan McNabb has thrown 7 touchdowns. The Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks combined have thrown 11. In the first 8 games of the season, Donovan McNabb has thrown, hey look, 8 interceptions. The Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks combined, 4. Now let's take a look at the yards per game, shall we? On average, Donovan McNabb is throwing for 246 yards per game. Michael Vick is throwing for 203. Kevin Cobb is throwing for 207. All right, fuck it, I'll give you that one. But with that said, the Philadelphia Eagles do have a higher rated passing attack than the Washington Redskins. And as far as points per game goes, the Philadelphia Eagles are ranked 8th in the NFL in points per game. The Washington Redskins, well, they're ranked 23rd. So just because Donovan McNabb is throwing for maybe, on average, some more yards, it's not necessarily equating to more wins, or more points for that matter. All right, let's go to quarterback rating, all right? Right now, Michael Vick has a quarterback rating of 105.3. Kevin Cobb, 85.3. Donovan McNabb, 76. Completion percentage, Michael Vick, 60.8. Kevin Cobb, 63.4. Donovan McNabb, 57.4. Lower than both the Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks. I could go into rush yards, but at this point, I mean, it really isn't even fair. So basically, to sum it up, Donovan, you might think that we made a mistake, but we don't think so. So here's how the Philadelphia Eagles get revenge on Donovan McNabb and the Washington Redskins. Key to victory number 1 has to do with quick starts. To beat the Washington Redskins, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to get off to a quick start, just like they did against the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, was there anything sweeter on Sunday than watching the Eagles take the opening drive down the field and put 7 on the scoreboard? I mean, between Michael Vick, DeSean Jackson, and LaShawn McCoy, I mean, it only took them a minute 46 seconds and 3 plays to find the end zone. And that is how you build momentum. Conversely, if you let the opposing team get off to a hot start, well, that's exactly what happened to the Eagles when they played the Redskins earlier this year at Lincoln Financial Field. You let them score on their opening drive, you let them get another touchdown. Next thing you know, we're looking up at the scoreboard, and it's 14-0 Redskins. And the Washington Redskins sucked all the momentum out of that game. We lost that game in the first quarter. We went down 14-0, and we were never able to recover. Key to victory number 2, here we go again. Red zone offense. I mean, I don't know about you guys, all right? But I was shocked. I was flat out shocked that the Philadelphia Eagles were able to beat the Colts with kicking as many field goals as they did inside of the red zone. David Akers kicks 4 field goals that game, 3 of which were snapped inside of the 20-yard line. Now, granted, yeah, you will win a couple games like that, but you will also lose a couple games like that. And I mean, if any one of those field goals had been a touchdown, would Peyton Manning have even had the opportunity to bring his team from behind in the fourth quarter with less than a minute to go? And that's how important red zone offense is, all right? It doesn't matter how many total yards you rack up, how high-flying your passing attack is. When you're inside of the 20, you got to be throwing up 7 and not 3. Because you throw up 3, and that completely takes the wind out of the sails. But more importantly, that 4 points that you left on the field, more times than not, is the margin between winning and losing. Key to victory number 3, penalties. And the referees, yes, all right, they did throw some bogus flags. But you guys were penalized 14 times for 125 yards. Penalized 14 times. Yes, the referees were being assholes, all right? But 14 times. Some of those were warranted. In fact, I would even venture to say most of those were warranted. And it cost you 125 yards. 125 yards is like taking the rushing offense of LaShawn McCoy and DeSean Jackson combined and wiping it completely off the board. Disciplined football. All right? Don't give the refs a reason to throw the flag. Don't give the refs a reason to take away yards from you that your offense worked so hard to get in the first place.
Oh, shit. Should we do it now? All right, we'll do it now. Excuse me, EROCK.
What?
Do you know how much time is left in this video?
Yeah, we got, like 2 minutes left to go.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and put in the backup.
The fuck you talking about? I mean, there is no backup. I run the show here.
Well, you see, we're a little concerned about your physical stamina.
Physical stamina? You got to be kidding me. I do these previews week in and week out, start to finish. What's the problem?
Well, we're also concerned that you don't know the terminology.
Well, you can't put in the backup. There is no backup. It's only me. What are you talking about, him? You really want him? And you're worried about my physical stamina?
Yes, we're going to put him in. We're putting in the backup.
But,
I said we're putting in the backup.
What? You gotta be shitting me.
You got this. All right. You got it. Game face. So here it is. Big E's Week 10 prediction. Donovan McNabb said we made a mistake last time we played them. But this week, the Redskins are going to learn that the Eagles knew exactly what they were doing. So with the nation watching on Monday Night Football, I have the Eagles winning 27-13. Congratulations to Wes from Hawaii for winning last week's Facebook Friday. This week's Facebook Friday prize is a game day program from the Colts game, as well as an Eagles prize pack. If you want your own Dallas Sucks sticker, give us an email at themightyerock@yahoo.com. Let's go, Birds.
Fumble.
And we'll see you next week. Dude, seriously?